येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लाङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter number 14. Yesterday we heard that in this forest there are also some owls and crickets which make a harsh voice, and that is very troubling to the ears. They are compared to the enemies, those who don't like us, and the kings and the ministers who use very harsh words and not very palatable to the ears to hear. So what are the troubles in this material world, what are the dangers that are there in this material world are described in this particular chapter. There are two ways of trying to get detachment from this material world or from any object for that matter. One is, if we know the beauty of another land, the existence of a land which is more beautiful and more blissful, we will get attracted. Oh, very nice, Vrindavan, Krishna, pastimes, very nice. But there are also a few people, or majority of people, the other way of getting attracted to getting detached from this material world is trying to understand the dangers in this material world. You can get detachment by two ways. One is having a higher attachment, or the other is understanding what are the weak points in this material world. So, both are required. There are different ways in which the scriptures, instruct us. Sama, Dama, Bheda, Danda. These are the four ways. Sama means by trying to make a friendly approach. Very nice. Oh, you are such a nice person. You are so good. Just like a child, a small child, mothers and fathers, they say, you are a very nice boy, no? You are a very nice girl. So you will do this right. For mama, you will do this right. So with, trying to make friendly approach and trying to, get the job done. Scriptures are doing that. You have got human birth. You have got very nice intelligence. Only you can discriminate. Others cannot do. Therefore, you do bhajan. Very nicely they are describing. They are telling us. But there are certain class of people, no problem. All children don't listen to these nice words. Then Dama. Dama means, okay, if you do this, mama will give this to you. Bribe or give something in return. Do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get this in return. So that is Dama. Means the scriptures are also telling, if you do this, then you will get permanent bliss. If you do this dharma activity, you will become more happier. You will become rich. You will get heavenly planets. Be inclined to performance of varnashrama dharma. Don't go otherwise. So by this, the process of Dharma, they are describing. Bheda. And the third is by Bheda. Bheda means to show the distinction. Distinction means to discriminate. You see, such person has not done it, because of which he is suffering. And this person has done it and he is in bliss. This, trying to differentiate. You see, our neighbor, when he was a small child, he was not studying properly. That's why he has become a laborer now. You see, we have an example in the next house. He is a good student, and you see, he is bright. He was bright in the school, and now he is a director, managing director of a company. So, what do you want to become? A laborer or a director of a company? To show the difference. Your brother is studying so nicely. He became class first, and now government is giving him stipend to study further. You want to become that, or you just want to become a layman? What do you want to become? So Bheda, to show disparity or the discrimination, and trying to tell. The scriptures are also telling. Previously, many persons, they performed bhajan, they went to Krishna Loka, and now they are in happiness. And there are a class of people, asuras, they did not do bhajan, and now they are suffering in the hellish planets. And the fourth is danda. When the three processes do not work, sama, dama, bhedo, trying to be in a friendly way, approaching nicely, and giving some bribe, something in return, do this, I will give you this. Or by even telling that, you see, such and such person has done and he attained that, and he has not done it, he got deprived of it. By these three processes, when one is not understanding, then the fourth process, the fourth degree of treatment, that is called danda, punishment. They are punished. You rascal, you fool, you stupid, you idiot. Scriptures, they say, you donkey, you ass. This is danda. It is like, you are a rascal number one, you are a fool number one. Danda. So these are the four ways by which the scriptures are giving us instructions and trying to bring us towards Supreme Lord. So we get attachment to when we get detachment to this material world, when we know the existence of another world, which is very, very beautiful. Scriptures describe that. Just like, many people say, India is not nice, so filthy, so, rubbish, illiterate, and, dirty. And, All these things. America is very nice. So people go to America because this is not good. Because they have understood the beauty of America. Oh, big skyscraper buildings are there, etc., etc. Other way is trying to seeing the negatives or weaknesses or the dangers in this material world, we get detached. So in this particular chapter, what are the dangers in this material world are being talked about. Very nicely described. Please do Hari Bhajan. Please go to Krishna Loka. Please enjoy in the company of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. But when we don't listen, another way of instruction is that what are the dangers? These are the eye openers. We are seeing. Even though we are seeing, we don't pay attention to them. Isn't it? Sometimes it happens that we know the fact, but we don't pay attention to it. So, in this chapter, we are being brought into, light on what are the dangers that are existing in this material world and why this is not the place for any one of us to live. There are so many persons who speak harsh words that pierce the ears and the heart. It has happened not once or twice, but several times in every one of our life. So, as long as we are there in this material world, these things are going to happen. So, this is the danger, one of the dangers that Sukadeva Goswami has narrated to Parikshit Maharaj. Apart from that, we have read so many previously. Sometimes, when whatever good deeds one has done, they are finished, then again this person takes shelter of immoral people, irreligious people for the sake of money. Whatever money he has got, he has, finished that money, he spent it uselessly or whatever way, and now he has no money. Therefore, he will take shelter of those immoral, irreligious people. Immoral, irreligious means they will only exploit. You think that, if I go there, I will get money, but you will only get exploited, not being paid sufficiently or being rejected completely. They are compared to, in the forest there are poisonous wells, there are poisonous creepers and the trees who are taken shelter, means living entities taking shelter of those trees, thinking that, if I hide behind this tree, then lion will not see me, tiger will not see me, I will not be attacked by the boar, etc. So he is taking shelter in that forest of these poisonous trees and the creepers and the bushes, which will ultimately kill him. So these poisonous trees, etc., are compared to the merciless or irreligious people who will only exploit, who in the name of giving shelter will only exploit and ultimately lead us to death. We will continue from verse number 13. Ekada asat prasangan nikritam matir vyudaka shrotah skhalanava navadubhaya to api dukkadam pashandam abhiyati. এই সংসার আটবিতে কখনো কখনো অসৎসঙ্গে জীবের বুদ্ধি বঞ্চিত হয়. In this forest of material existence, sometimes due to bad association, one's intelligence will be lost. Association is very, very important. A man is known by the company he keeps. In English there is a saying, a man is known by the company he keeps. Or you can say, birds of the same feather flock together. So, bad people always associate with bad people. Good will associate with a good one. And a person, whether he is good or bad, can be understood by whom he is associating with. In this material world, bad association is so, rampantly available everywhere. It's available everywhere. There is no satsanga, satsanga or good association is very rare to be seen, but a satsanga is available everywhere.
Free of cost.
Free, free of cost. So, even satsanga is also free of cost, but we don't want to take it. So, here, Srila Rupa Goswami in his Upadeshamrita says about, how dangerous is sadhu sangha, asatsanga. Asatsanga, when we come in the company of bad people, bad persons, then it is very, very detrimental to devotional progress. Sangat tyagat sato vritti, you have to give up bad association. But in this material world, you find more bad association than good association. And another danger of bad association is how much ever good qualities that you bring in yourself by associating with good person, if you come in association with a bad person for some little time, you have taken sadhu sangha for 23 hours in a day, let's say, 1 hour of asat sangha is enough to finish this 23 hours of sadhu sangha, or even more, because we naturally tend to get attracted to these false things than trying to correct or rectify our own things and follow the sat marga, the path of the sadhus. Therefore, in this material world, he is telling that there is a danger of asat sangha, bad association, which will deprive the living entity from paramartha, from the actual welfare. जनशून्य नदीर गर्भे पतित হইলে যেমন তৎক্ষণাৎ মস্তক ফুটিয়া যায়, পরে আরও ক্লেশ হইয়া থাকে, সেইরূপ এই বঞ্চিত পুরুষ বেদ বিরুদ্ধ পাষণ্ড মতকে আশ্রয় করিয়া ইহকালে ও পরকালে দুঃখ হইয়া থাকে, পাইয়া থাকে. Just like if one is, one jumps into a river where there is no water, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Cannot swim. His head will burst or break, isn't it? The body will. If you jump into river, there is no water, then you are hurting yourself. And also, there is a danger after that also. What is the danger after that? Whatever bodily problem that one has got, one has to suffer for that also for a long time. You have jumped into a river where there is no water. In a similar manner, jumping into the rivers where there is no water means taking shelter of pashandis, the atheistic class of people, asat janas, non-devotees. Taking shelter of these non-devotees is just like jumping into a river without water. That will bring danger to you at that point and later also. When you jump at that point in time, you are hurt, but that is going to continue for a long time. In a similar manner, those who associate with the non-devotees, they are not only being deprived from their eternal welfare at that point in time, but in the future also, later also. Associating with the non-devotees, we may think that, this particular period only I am in danger, but it is not so. Later also it's going to be dangerous, because whatever we are discussing, whatever we are talking, whomever we are meeting with, all those impressions are being stored in the mind. And these impressions are going to, define our next birth, or what we are going to become in our next birth, what we are going to do in our next birth. Because all these impressions are, staying in the heart, in the mind of a living entity, the subtle body of the living entity. So here he is telling that the living entity, when he is not finding shelter of the caves where there are so many mosquitoes, he is walking somewhere, there are owls, they are coming, somewhere else the tigers are coming, then he is taking shelter of the trees where they are poisonous. Now he is thinking that, okay, let me jump into the water and then take shelter there so that no danger is there, but there is no water in it. So that is the place where there is, they appear to be speakers of very nice philosophy. Atheistic people, non-devotees, they give so many logics, nice philosophy they also speak. They have no Krishna bhakti, but they speak a lot of philosophy. So what is the use of such philosophy? Dry speculation, which is not going to save us, not only now, but later also. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Kvachit vitoyaha savitah संसाराटवीते बणिक समूह कखनो कखनो जलशून्य जलाशये गमन करे এই কথার তাৎপর্য বলিতেছেন একদা ইত্যাদি. So in this material forest or the forest of material existence, the merchant who is hunting for treasure or who is searching for treasure in the forest, when he finds so many dangers, he jumps into the river where there is no water in search of treasure. Maybe there is treasure here. Taking shelter of atheists means maybe we will get happiness here. When we are going to the merchants, those who are merciless, those who are giving troubles, then, and sometimes we have an experience that, oh, this material world is very miserable, there are so many pains, whatever pleasure is there, that is also not permanent. In this manner, when thoughts are coming in the mind, at that time we take shelter of these atheistic class of people. They are speaking so many nice things. If you watch YouTube, or in India there are so many bhakti channels, if you watch those, there are so many persons, atheistic persons, non-devotees, or you can say devotees of multiple gods. There is no one-pointedness anywhere. Those who are interested only in karma kanda, jnana kanda, there are so many persons who go on speaking. So we take shelter of those persons at that time, which will ultimately deprive us.
Very colorful.
Huh?
Colorful.
Yes.
Persons.
They speak so many, yes. Their dressing, their everything is so, they want to attract. Asat prasangat, asat ganer sanga hetu, nikritamatihi, निकृत बोलते सन्मार्ग होते वंचित मति जहार तादृश व्यक्ति. So due to bad association, the mind, the mentality of the mind becomes totally lowly, in the sense that such persons cannot think of a higher target. When we associate with such class of a people who are low mentality people, then our mind will also become like that. So these persons who are pashandis means non-devotees, or those who have no faith in the religious activities, devotional activities, they are all pashandis. They don't believe in the form of God, they don't believe in worship. So they are only deceivers or the cheaters, and associating with them we will only be deceived. जलहीन नदी गर्भे पतित होइले जे रूप तत्क्षणात मस्तक फाटिया जाए, just like in a river where there is no water, one jumps into it, one's head gets burst, एवं परे वो वेदना बोध है, and later also it will only give more and more trouble. तद्रूप उभयतो अपि दुःखदम, इहलोक और परलोके दुःखप्रदो. Means if one takes the associates with the pashandis, the non-devotees, or in another way you can say the extreme materialists, if we associate with them, then ihaloka paraloka, while living in this world and in the next world also, means later whenever we go, everywhere there is only pain. Yadatu kshut pipasadita pusha क्षुत यदातु क्षुत पिपासादृतः परवाध याद्ध आत्मने नोपनमति तदा हि पितृपुत्र बर्हिमतः পিতৃপুত্রান বস খলু ভক্ষয়তি। এই সংসারে পুরুষ যখন অপরকে পীড়া প্রদান করিয়াও আপনার প্রয়োজনীয় বস্তু সংগ্রহ করতে পারেন না, তখন সে তাহার পিতা কিংবা পুত্রাদি জনের মধ্যেও যদি তৃণতুল্য সামান্য কোনো বস্তু দেখিতে পায়, তবে তাহার জন্য তাহাদিকে পীড়া প্রদান করে। There are also another class of people who are mentioned or who are present in this material world. These persons, even after repeated attempts, they have not become successful in gaining some wealth. Even by exploiting others, by giving trouble to others, they have not attained any material gains. What they will do is, they will trouble their own father or children. If they have, little bit of wealth, whatever little bit of wealth they have got, they will try to, extract from them by giving trouble to them. Means there are children, also means there are many, children in this material world who give trouble to their parents for wealth. They want to extract wealth, they are trying to exploit everywhere, they are not successful. Then they come and yell at the father. They say that you have so much property, why don't you give me some money, I want to start business. Father is telling, no, you do proper study, you get a job and earn money. This is a hard-earned money. If I give you this money, then you will go in a wrong direction. I don't want to give you this. You just study properly. But when he is, when he has exploited different persons, when he tried to get wealth at different places, he is not successful, he will come and shout at the father. What is this? You have so much wealth and you are not giving me, you are not letting me do my business. What kind of father are you? This and that. They give a lot of trouble, and they will also conspire to snatch the wealth of the father. So many persons are there. So many examples are there. Simply exploiting their own parents, or father is depending on the child, is trying to extract from whatever the child has got. So in this manner he is telling that Jadi Trinatulya Saman Kono, even if there is little bit that he can extract out of the father or anything, he is going to any extent to extract that wealth.
Sometimes they kill also.
Yeah, they're killing also.
Happens sometimes.
Children killing the father, and father sometimes kills his own child. There are so many things that are that happen, which we think, which we cannot imagine also. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Parasparancha alashate nirannaha, কখনো কখনো নিরন্ন হইয়া পরস্পরের নিকট অন্ন যাচা করে ইত্যাদি পূর্বোক্ত কথার তাৎপর্য বলিতেছেন yadatu ityadi. So even though one has no proper food to eat, he is begging on the streets, but he is not finding anything on the streets, means he didn't get anything. What he will do? Parabadhaya, पीड़न प्रदो जीविकार द्वाराओ, अर्थात क्षुधा कातर मनुष्य जखन अपर के पीड़ा दियाओ निजेर अन्न संग्रह करते पारेन ना, तखन पिता व पुत्रगणेर कुशादि तृणमात्र वस्तु जाहादेर निकट देखिते पाय तान भक्षयति, ताहा हইলে राजद्वार হইতে सैन्य आनिया तादिके पीड़ा प्रदान करे. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that one is very hungry, extremely hungry and thirsty, and hunger is not met, nobody is supplying any food to him, he is not able to get anything. At that time, if he sees even a bit of a grass available, with the grass means little money is available with the child or the father, he will even kill that person, or he will even, do any kind of harm to that person to bring that out from him. Because in this material world, thirst and hunger are our greatest, enemies that take us to any extent. If it is not fulfilled, one may kill one's own person. It's called survival of the fittest.
Which means your intelligence is lost in this moment.
What is being told is that there are dangers in this material world. There are people like this. There are so many people like this in this material world. Therefore, don't think that you are safe. I have a child, he will take care of me when I am old. Don't be in such a false world. Anything, even a child can go to the extent of killing one's own person. When, what's his name? Dundukari. Dundukari. He was such a, heinous person. He killed his own wife. He killed his own children. He killed his mother and father, the entire family, for the sake of his sustenance. Because he was a Brahmana, but he could not maintain the family because he has taken to the wrong means. His, he has fallen down from his Brahminical state. Therefore, he was not being treated by others properly. And his wife and children also became, what are you doing? Why are you like this? Then he even killed his own family members. And, he killed his mother, father, brother, of course, Gokarna, he was on a pilgrim tour at that time, but everyone else were killed. And ultimately he met with frustration and he became a Brahmadaitya. He became Brahmadaitya. And of course Gokarna made him hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Wherever the Tarpana, means the oblations, were given, he was not rescued from any of these things. That was the state of Dundukari. He so many sins and crimes he had committed that there was no rescue for him from this material world. And even Gokarna went to Gaya and other places to give pinda, the oblations to the the deceased ones. But there was no rescue. Finally, he recited Srimad Bhagavatam and then he was delivered. So this comes in the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. But there are people like Dundukari. Not one, many, those who are killing their own kinsmen for the sake of wealth. Kvachid dasadya griham davavat priyartha viduram asukho darkam shokagnina dahyamano brisham nirvedam upagacchati. ए गृह दावानल सदृश इहाते सुखेर लेश मात्र नाय. This house is like a forest fire. The house is like a forest fire. There is not even a trace of happiness in the house. Dukhi har charam phal. The life of a family is only misery. Those who are leading a household life, family life, misery is the end result of it. People get married, people enter into a household life thinking that it is going to give happiness, but it is like davanala, sansara davanala leeda loka. It is like a forest fire, where when there are clashes between the interests of the people, or the husband and wife, children, father or the children, mother, when there is a clashes, which is already always there. The self-interest of different people, they are not the same. Because we are all connected to the one organic unit Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, if we keep that as self-interest, then there is no problem. But all of us have different self-interests, then this clashes, fightings are inevitable. So this material world is like a dawan, not material world, the house is like a dawan, is like a forest fire. There is no trace of happiness in this. Dukkhi har charam phal, and the ultimate fruit of this household life is only misery. Anukula vastu tathai vartaman nai, whatever is favorable is not present there. Favorable means favorable to devotion, favorable for our eternal welfare is not there. Ultimate result of a family life is misery. What do you call a misery as? We have to understand what is, happiness first. Then we will understand what is misery. We are thinking that happiness means sense enjoyment. Oh, if I marry a beautiful wife or a very handsome husband, I will be very happy. That's not happiness. That is some temporary escape from, material misery. We are trying to seek happiness at a place to forget about our other miseries. But we are not able to understand this is not happiness. This is also searching for another misery. There is no happiness in this material world, where it has been told dukkhalayam. This material world is dukkhalayam, is a place of misery. So a person is trying to find happiness at a place where it does not exist. That is why he is telling that Anukul vastu tathai vartaman nai, whatever is favorable to devotion, whatever is favorable for our real self is not present there. So when we understand what is happiness, then we will be able to understand what is misery also. Happiness means Supreme Lord. Misery means anything other than Supreme Lord is a misery. Because happiness is not a temporary thing. Oh, I get some happiness sometime and then, again I have to struggle for that happiness. No, that's not called happiness. Happiness is eternal. That is Supreme Lord. And misery is just the opposite of that happiness, which means this material world. Jiva idrisha griha ke labh koriya shokanale dagdh hoy. Such a living entity, by attaining such house, will only be burnt in the fire of lamentation. Why did I get married? Why did I enter into the household life? I thought children, if I have children, it will be very nice, but these children are more than, demons. The demons are better than my children. So why did I get them in the first place? I thought by buying a house I will be happy. But the thing is that I am not able to do my, I am not able to pay my EMIs. I thought that I will be in this job and I purchased a very nice apartment, but suddenly the company says you are fired out of the company because there are no, projects for us. Then how will I pay the EMI? In in America, several years ago, there was this problem, severe crisis. The credit banks, they were gone for a big toss because, the banks gave credit to people. Okay, you can buy. They purchased, but they couldn't pay back to the banks, isn't it? It happened several years ago. So it was a very, very, big crisis. It's after that, banks changed their policies. So many renewals have happened. They put a credit limit. Okay, you cannot go beyond this. And if your salary is this only, you can get this much, credit.
Also, they stop moving if the person is liquid enough to pay his
Yes. So
job is secure.
secured or not, everything started to be verified before giving any credit cards, or before setting the limits of what credit you can access, etc. Because dangers are there. So what I wanted to say is that idrisha grihike labh koriya shokan lagdha. In this material world, the living entity, by getting such house, he will only burn in the fire of lamentation. Alas, why did I do this? Why did I purchase the house in the first place? Why did I get married in this manner? কখনো বা আমি অতিশয় মন্দভাগ্য, আমার কোনো সুকৃতি নাই, এইরূপ বিষাদ প্রাপ্ত হয়. Sometimes I am most unfortunate person. I have no good deeds. In this manner he will be in deep disdain sometimes, after entering into this household life. Shri Vishwanath Thakur writes in the commentary, असाध्य दावम, कखनो कखनो दावानलेर निकट गया अग्निते संतप्त हवाय विषाद प्राप्त होय. Sometimes by entering into the davanala, to the forest fire, one is in extreme distress. इत्यादि कथार तात्पर्य बोलते चैन क्वचित असाध्य गृहम इत्यादि, अर्थात दावानल तुल्य गृह आश्रय करिया शोकानले दग्ध होइते होइते अतिशय खेदग्रस्त होय. Means this forest fire is like a house. By entering into the house, which is like a forest fire, one is burnt in the fire of lamentation, and he will be in deep distress or deep trouble in such a state. We will stop here and then continue tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय. परमाराधितम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद भक्तिदयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय. श्री शिरूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय. श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ, श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय. श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय. श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी एवं परीक्षित महाराज की जय. समागत भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्तवृंद की जय. श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.